Welcome back, Retro PES fans. It's the World Cup you've all been asking for. South Africa 2010, courtesy of PES 2010. And for the first time ever, the FIFA World Cup emanates on African soil. South Africa take the field on the glorious pitch of the Soccer City Stadium in Johannesburg. They will be inspired by a frenzied home crowd support and the World Cup winning manager in Carlos Alberto Pereira in tow. Here we go! The FIFA World Cup 2010 kicks off! Vela turns, slots it in to Guadalmara Franco, not hard enough. The first swing of the World Cup, it's a miss, or perhaps a taster for Josephs of what's to come perhaps. Marquez takes the gamble by punting it forward to Franco. Josephs beats him to it. Vela combining with Giovanni. Look out for them two to link up quite often in this game. And Giovanni with a missed kick. South Africa trying to break him. Fella releases Shabalala down the left hand side. We've seen this one before. Shabalala, low cross into the box, and Zebaya is unable to respect that pass from Shabalala. What a remarkable team goal this would have been for the South Africans to go ahead over Mexico in Soccer City. Vela has left Gaxa behind in the dirt and slots it through to Franco. Just a little too early. Franco just wanted to get it away from his feet. Vela helps it onto Franco. That's a wonderful pass to Giovanni. The Mexicans are picking all kinds of holes in the Bafana's defense. And Giovanni should have done better. Rushed it on the weak foot perhaps. Once upon a time, Barcelona thought they had a new Ronaldinho in Giovanni Dos Santos. Steven Pienaar. Everton fans will be watching intently at his progress in this tournament. Shabalala over the top to Infella. Francisco Rodriguez absorbs the danger. Pienaar trying to shake up the harassment from Osorio. Masiala with a bending ball in! Matisse! The festival of football in Africa can begin. Teko Modise enters the history books. It's the Orlando Pirates pocket powerhouse. This is a massive header from one of the smallest players on the South African side. And already enthusiastic home crowd support has reached fever pitch with that goal. Giovanni trying to take Mattis into his own hands, and he forces Josephs into the save. And it's still alive, Vela, no! Unable to hit the target, that surely would be the equalizer right there. Giovanni Dos Santos does all the hard work, Josephs can't hold. So Messi defending, and Vela, now or never, and it's never. Pienaar trying to cause a headache of his own. Quares as well to contend, now Infella, and he releases it off the woodwork. Perez stretches as far as his tiny body will take him. Real assured swarming the Mexicans like bumblebees. All it needed was the sting of a goal. It's not a bad ball to Giovanni. What can he do with it? Kamala gets in the way of that one. Some schoolyard dispossession here on the field as Franco is unable to make the South Africans pay for it. Modise trying to break for the South Africans, and Fella gets completely wiped out, and the referee says no foul. Here's Pienaar, Shabalala to the left and Fella to the right. He goes for Shabalala, who hits it first time, and it's knocked into no man's land by Perez. Here's Modise, a real live wire. Take on Modise into Pienaar, has a flick, and even the rabbit Oscar Perez in goal. It's not enough from Steven Pienaar. The hosts and the underdogs just have to hold on for a couple more minutes. And Pino overlaps up to Medice, knocks it down with the head, and he finds the back of the net with the brace. What a moment in this young man's career. Teco Medice scores not just one, but two World Cup goals in the backyard of his home nation's finest moment. And it's a wonderful pass from Steven Pino. Look at that. High and unpredictable and down with enough pace. A wonderful control from the forehead of Teco Medice. Look at this touch. Knocks it down into his path and fires it past Perez. So much power, despite being at the near post. The keeper stands no chance. Still time for things to get a little muddy for the South Africans. Here comes Vela with the ball in. Osorio with the second attempt on the cross. Franco with a spectacular consolation, but he can't keep it down. The defenders were frozen with fatigue, but they were very fortunate. Well, thanks to two very well taken goals from Teco Medice, South Africa have made the perfect start to their own World Cup. It's Mexico 0, South Africa 2. It's been 4 years since France were the runners-up of the last World Cup, and it's been 60 years since Uruguay lifted it for the second time. Uruguay famously surprised the world by reaching the semi-finals of the real thing, and France went home early in disgraceful fashion. But we aim to recreate history on Retro PES. Arevalo Rios looks to get the ball out of Uruguay's half for the first time. Forlan has a goal out of nothing. And we know all too well Diego Forlan can hit them from any area of the pitch. Well, you've got to keep Lloris on his toes somehow. Thierry Henry receives it, spreads out wide to Florent Malouda. He gets it back in the box to Henry. Oh! You wouldn't place your bets on the king, missing many from that kind of range. A simple move from the French. Malouda gives it and goes as Thierry Henry left Muslera rooted like a tree. Luis Suarez into the feet of Pereira. Oh, he goes for one himself. Uruguay playing a bit of target practice from range here against the French. Do they have intel on Hugo Lloris's inability to deal with long-range efforts or something? Perez waiting for something to pop up. Forlan volunteers to receive it. Diego Forlan. Oh, and he forces Lloris to spill it with Edison Cavani sniffing the blood in the water. Let me tell you something, this could have been ugly. It goes off the inside. Lloris is fired back out off his elbow. Forlan takes the corner, swings it in. It's nodded away. Cavani challenges Henry, wipes him out, and the referee sees nothing. It's back into the box towards Yasil. Oh, it's in! No, won't count. Offside. The goal won't count, but not for the reasons you're thinking of. Henry was wiped out. Referee played on whilst the French were protesting. And luckily Yasil was just too early for his own good. Abu Diaby plucks it away from the grasp of Godin as he pins it out wide to Malouda. First time ball in, and it's off the head of Thierry Henry. France finally take the lead in Cape Town. It took just under an hour for the breakthrough in this game, where there were chances aplenty, especially from the Uruguayans. They may have one more World Cup than the French, but the French have one more goal thanks to King Henry. Ribery into the feet of Thierry Henry, helps along to Johan Gourcuff. Diaby overlaps and he spills the save from Muslera. A brilliant move from the French. Not a bad effort from Abu Diaby. Ribery's delivery. Off the head of Malouda and off the bar of Muslera's goal. It was actually Eric Abidal who was unable to keep the danger alive. An easy interception from Patrice Evra. Malouda, Gourcuff in the middle of the park. And he fires one into the lap of Frank Ribery. Muslera saved it, but Thierry Henry's there with a knife in the back of the Uruguayans. And there it is, the brace from the Frenchman. And another reserve celebration. France have that man to thank for their place here at the World Cup. Or should I say his hand? But Henry's used everything but the hand. One off the head, one off the foot. Well, Pereira gives it a go, and there's some white and blue shorts in the way of that one. As Fusil is trying to keep the pressure on Ribéry. It's still Fusil, the man his goal was disallowed. Chaos in the French area. Luis Suarez, can he convert? And he can't even find the target. It's a frenzied moment of madness in that French penalty area. Thierry Henry, Johan Gourcuff, he cuts inside, and Muslera can't hold. It's a miraculous double save. Oh, that's another wonderful ball from Gourcuff. And Henry, fingertip save from Fernando Muslera. Fingernails denying the hat-trick of Thierry Henry. Suarez, a little bit of creativity there as he takes it around the defender. And the Brown is shut down at the 11th hour by Luis. Well, the French, who arguably don't deserve their spot in the World Cup, has at least justified it with an impressive 2-0 victory over the two-time World Cup winners Uruguay. The Eagles return to the World Cup for the first time since 2002, and just like that year they are reunited with Argentina in the group stage, of which they have never beaten. Diego Maradona returns to the World Cup in the dugout of the Albiceleste, Argentina. Great ball into the mixer, organised chaos. Oh, Messi has uncharacteristically lost it. Yakubu! Ooh, lucky from Romero, there was no power behind that. Keita, out wide to Uche. And it's still Uche with the ball in. Yakubu! Nigeria are in front of Argentina on the scoreline. Can Nigeria be the second country to fly the flag for Africa on this gigantic continent? It's as if the controller ran out of batteries. All these Argentine players frozen to the spot. Here's a Bassi. Hits it as early as he could. Well read by Sergio Romero. Is this a penalty? Or does the Bassi just happen to run into Samuel? Now Di Maria, finally a bit of breathing space for the Argentines to get forward. Punched away from the skull of Tevez. Higuain hits it. Oh, and that's scooped away. And Yeaman with a valiant punch, but he scurries back to position to make this crucial save. Messi, Higuain, Tevez flicks it up and has a strike, and that is powerful. Excellent reflexes from Enyama. Messi plays it square to Tevez, who flicks it into the air. For Lionel Messi, he tries to nod it into the net. It was improvised, but I don't think Lionel Messi realised he probably had a bit more time to bring this down. Good vision from Haruna to find Abassi. Sent it into the box, and Yakubu replicates his first goal. And it's almost like a mirror image. Once again with the header out of nowhere, and Romero doesn't leave his feet for the second time. There's nothing fancy or technical about this. It's just pass and move from Nigeria. It's getting serious for Argentina now. They're really in trouble. Tevez finds Higuain, plays it back into the area for Messi. Denied in the 6-yard area. How is he unable to put this in the goal? Heinze, Tevez down the line, and it's another one. Oh, surely it was another tap in, but it doesn't go in. Argentina longing after that goal, just to give him that confidence boost. Higuain might be the man to do it. Oh, and he's denied by the post. Maxi Rodriguez forfeits possession. Just over 10 minutes remaining now. A bus has been threaded through and it's whipped into the box. Yakubu goes down. It's everywhere. It's off the post. It's out for a corner. And it's Demichelis who almost concedes a penalty. And it's almost an own goal. Samuel getting in the way. The Nigerians are 10 minutes away from beating Argentina in the World Cup for the first time. And it's all over now. They've done it. The honours are theirs. It's Uche who gets the third. It's the punctuation mark. and the Nigerians' inspirational display. And it's a blemish on Diego Maradona's World Cup debut as a manager. At least there won't be a mark on the kit of Sergio Romero. Didn't want to get it dirty, it seemed, didn't leave his feet. Eniyama has been quiet in the second half, but that's an outstanding save. It's the first major shock of the World Cup. Nigeria 3, Argentina 0. Two teams that shocked the world of international football in the last decade. And with the position Argentina have found themselves in, they have every chance of escaping this group and doing it all again. That's out wide to Lee Chung-yong. He's been pushed out wide by Otto Rehago's compartmentalized defense. Switches the play to Park Ji-sung, tucks it inside and fires into the bottom corner. What a goal from South Korea's superstar of Manchester. Park Ji-sung leading by example with the captain's armband and a classy display of technique. The first touch which lures Katsuranis in, then he takes it away from him like the taxman annual salary. Well, there's one of the first contenders for the great goals of this World Cup. Well, Gekas is running this down the flank as wide as possible all by himself. Swings it in and Samaras is there! Towers over Lee Yong-pyo, who stood no chance to the successor to Angelos Talasteas' target man role. It's such a simple concept in hindsight. Get the ball in to the biggest man on the pitch. Greece can break once again. Can they take the lead? Just before half time, turn this game on its head. Not if Gekas has finishing like that. Lee Chung-yong, early ball in, nobody home though. But Papadopoulos and Silvas having a complete breakdown in communication. And it's costly. A very costly breakdown in communication. Park Ji-sung. Well, it's a goal that's almost as comical as the goal scorer Park Ji-sung's Arsenal Odyssey in a year's time. But what on earth is going on here? Zorvas clearly trying to avoid a pass back, but gets it all wrong. Nodded away by Papadopoulos. Young Ki-hoon, he tries to hit it on the volley, and it's a waste. Karagun is the hero of 2004. Karagounis is the closest the Greeks have come since equalising. Give him the benefit of the doubt though, the angle was against him. And now here comes the Pink Tigers. Lee Chung-yong into the middle to Park Ji-sung, and it's an underwhelming effort. Now Lee Chung-yong, it's 4-on-2 to An Young-hwan, and he slips at the crucial moment. The South Korean legend. Greece applies some pressure. Vintra keeping it alive, he swings it in, and it's Giannis with the equaliser at the death for the Greeks. Greece has snatched away the honours of topping Argentina with the Nigerians in Group B. Great early cross from Vintra and a fantastic volley from Alexandros Giannis into the roof of the net. Well, there's two teams that were no strangers to late drama in their heyday in 2002 and 2004, but there's South Korea 2, Greece 2. Will Fabio Capello bring 44 long years of hurt to an end in South Africa as we are in Durban for the Atlantic Derby between the Allies, USA versus England? 60 years since the greatest upset of them all, the USA beating England in the 1950 World Cup, the underdogs then. The USA are superpowers of the world in everything but football. Will this World Cup be the one where they live up to their political reputation? First corner of the game goes to the USA as Landon Donovan buries in the box, and it's a goal to the United States. The first blood is drawn by the Stars and Stripes. It's Salt Lake City's own Robbie Findlay who's capitalised on miscommunication in the England box. A poacher's delight. Findlay, the fox in the box, fires the United States into the lead. And England's first consensual touch of the ball will come from the restart. Here's another ball in. Altidore is the only realistic target. Jose Altidore. And David James clutches onto it tight. It's the first advance for England as Heskey lays off to Milner. A velocious ping across the face of goal from the future Liverpool legend. Of course, only 24 years of age here in 2010. Donovan again terrorising the England flank. As Altidore gets a wicked deflection. Almost reminiscent of the freak goal Peter Shilton concedes in 1990 against Germany. Loops over his head helplessly. David James saved by the woodwork. What does Landon Donovan have in mind here? Too short, he was seeking out Edu. Ashley Cole reads it. And England are away. Rooney by himself for now. Support by Steven Gerrard. He gives it back to the Wazza. 1-1. England's best. Wayne scores against the West. It's the perfect finish. He literally buries this as far away from Tim Howard as possible in the bottom right corner. Gerrard holds it up masterfully as long as possible, waiting to release Wayne Rooney. Let's take a moment to admire the animations of PES 2010 as Rooney opens his body up as wide as a baby in a dentist chair. England seem to be waking up now. Wayne Rooney revitalised England with that goal. Milner sent it in for Rooney to claim his second of the game. And it's a passionate one. What a diving header. Close range against his former United teammate Tim Howard. The United States are imploding. Well, in the absence of David Beckham, that prestigious right wing position had some big shoes to fill, but James Milner doesn't do too badly with that ball. Sharundalo, last roll of the dice at the half. Oh, David James, he spills it. Under pressure from Landon Donovan, but he recovers. Can't do any worse than Robert Green's performance in the real fixture. Boccanegra, that's a pretty underwhelming clearance from the free kick. Edu, it's gone long to Finlay. The flag stayed down, Finlay took it around David James, and he's equalised. An indescribable look of confusion on the England players. As the flag stayed down, Finlay has ghosted the offside trap somehow. It's a gamble of a long ball from Maurice Sadu. Finlay seems to be a million miles offside. David James doesn't know whether to commit or not. But Robbie Finlay knows best. You always play until you hear that whistle. Now will Robbie Finlay be the boogeyman for England against the USA? Look at this, the best angle I can come up with in the game. And Robbie Finlay must have been a hair onside. USA 2, England 2. Heskey cushions it down to Lampard. Not a bad pass to Milner, loops it into the box, and it's gone in his own net. Jay Demerit has just dropped his own rifle, and it's discharged into his testicles. Sometimes the best volleys are the most unintentional ones, and Jay Demerit has joined that exclusive class. Lennon challenging Dempsey to a duel. There's only going to be one winner. It's going to be the Speed King, Aaron Lennon. Slips on the cross, and Ashley Cole comes across for an ambitious volley, but an underwhelming reality. It's full time here in Durban as the English summer begins. The three-line odyssey. March to the beat of the lightning seeds. It's USA 2, England 3. Algeria will hope to channel the enthusiasm of the continental tournament held on African soil. Algeria return to the World Cup for the first time since the 1980s. They will turn to that man to lead them against the Slovenians. Oh, Barca trying to give Boli an early taste of the game. Karimziani on the set piece, and they can bring it down to Boba Handanovic. Breko to Salur, there's the give and go. The 1-2 pass into the long one. There's Breko. Hits it in, and it's fouled to Novakovic. And there's a breakthrough in the game as Slovenia are up against the Algerians. It's Novakovic, who was the top scorer for the Slovenians through the qualifying campaigns, and one of the men responsible for knocking the Russians out in the playoffs. Ooh, that one whistles past Lubi Jankic. Could have been a second. It's Karimziani trying to march this into the Slovenian penalty area. Oh, Matt Moore, the closest they've come. Nadir Belhad should be a priceless opportunity for a cross. Kadir, he can't react in time as he tries to bring it under his control. One step at a time for the Slovenians, their luck keeps on growing. It's Algeria 0, Slovenia 1. We are just 4 years away from Germany taking over the world, but it's been 4 years since the start of the German Revolution. The youth movement took hold at Euro 2008 when Germany were the runners-up in that tournament. Joachim Löw has every belief he will take the Germans one step further here in South Africa. Beltang sweeps away the class as far as Özil. That's a poor clearance. Germany under relentless pressure as Kennedy takes a swipe at it. Corner to the Australians. Well, Die Mannschaft has been unable to maneuver out of their own halves. Australia pinging the ball around relentlessly. It's Cahill. Wow! Tim Cahill has sent the Australians into a dream lead against a Germany team that's been unable to catch their breath in the Australians' half. The Socceroos with their own emulation of tiki-taka, rounded off by a fantastic burial by Tim Cahill from outside the penalty area. Australia is showing no signs of slowing down. Cahill could get a second. Wow, he fires a missile that deflects off the shield of Manuel Neuer. A vital save from the soon-to-be bulletproof Bavarian. Australian animals, they're relentless, coming forward, putting the Germans under all kind of pressure. They're fighting for their lives. Miroslav Klose surrounded by blue shirts. He's wise to share it with Mesut Özil. If he can convert this into a cross, and then closer. No, Podolski's there at the far post. Lucas Podolski coming of age. It's game on in Durban. And that is a merciless equaliser from Prince Podolski. The man with the golden head. The closer slips it outside to Podolski, who's already reeling from the confidence of the one goal. Closer! Yeah! Salto Klose, the trademark somersault, returns to South Africa. And the cliche of aging like a fine wine and only improving through the passage of time. It's Miroslav Klose with his eye on Gerd Muller's record of 14 goals at the World Cup. Schweinsteiger down the line to the enigmatic Thomas Muller, who's in a ton of space. Chipperfield unable to soak up the pressure. Closer, Muller. Gentle layoff to Sami Khedira, hits it! And he does! It's in! It bounces out the roof of the net. Sami Khedira has completed the game of catch-up for the Germans, making Australia pay for ever having the audacity of scoring against them first. It's kangaroo football in that Australian defence unable to relieve the pressure. A satisfying finish for Sami Khedira, like an arrow under the body of Mark Schwarzer. Özil, smooth criminal. Schweinsteiger, fire starter. Very nearly. Lowers the bazooka, pulls the trigger. And Mark Schwarzer prays to God that he doesn't get blown away. And Germany are unwell. Doctor, we cannot stop scoring. Perma to Saka adds a fourth to the score sheet for the Germans, who are in the salacious mood, alright. The biggest man in the box, and well, you know how the story ends. Bashi Schweinsteiger composedly plays it short. It's back to Schweinsteiger looking for Marin at the far post. It's knocked down. Oh, excellent double save from Schwarzer. Unfortunately for him, even if it went in, he would not have counted, as Mario Gomez was offside. The Germans just want to have fun. Özil. And it's foul to Marin on the volley. Gomez! And again, deprived of a goal by Mark Schwarzer. Score against Germany at your peril. because this is what they'll do to you. It's Australia 1, Germany 4. World Cup history will be made in Group D. Serbia compete at the World Cup for the first time as an independent nation. Ghana looks to be the third African nation to claim a win in their opening game of the 2010 World Cup. Asamoah looking for John. Oh, not bad, ricochets from Mother Stojkovic. Snap shot from Asamoah John. Asamoah wounds it in as is Jovanovic. Boateng on the volley. When you have a ball like the Jabulani that whirls and twirls in the air, why not have a gamble? As Kevin Prince Boateng did. Krasic is a high cross in as Nikolita Zigic keeps Kingston on his toes. Branislav Ivanovic in crossing territory. And it is Ivanovic. Kuzmanovic gets a bit closer. Surging ball in, looking for Zigic. And the deflection almost ends up in the comical goal. Krasic. It's still Krasic. Doing his best Diego Maradona impression. Pansil fails at clearing it. And Krasic, it would have been a flawless goal if it wasn't for the temporary interception from Pansil. But Serbia are in front late into the game. Nikovic, Krasic, first time pass, look at this. Kuzmanovic! And Zigic can't convert. Serbia aren't interested in holding on for dear life. And there's no need, Zigic! The red giant gets the goal he came for. And one in which his heights wasn't even involved in. The Black Stars leave the stadium with a black cloud hanging over them. It's Serbia 2, Ghana 0. The Danes were last seen at the World Cup in 2002, getting walloped by England 3-0, and the Netherlands were last seen getting sent off against Portugal in Nuremberg in 2006. The Orange fans have longed for the glory days of the 70s to be recreated by the Netherlands, and ironically, the Danes have tasted silverware since then in 1992. Nicholas Bentner at the near post, why not make Stecklenburg sweat a little? It's not impossible for them to sneak into that kind of range. Van Persie, actually the target man, being pulled wide, and he's won a free kick. And it's going to be Karlenberg who is the instigator. Robin sends it in, Van der Wiel gets ahead on it, and it's found its way in! 1-0 to the Netherlands! And it's not even their own goal, it's an own goal! Courtesy of Simon Kjaer. You got a feel for both men. Van der Wiel robbed of his first World Cup goal, and Simon Kjaer on the receiving end of his first. But it's at the wrong end. Robin's spidey sense tingling, an acre of space for him to gallop into. Iron Robin cuts inside! Arguably one of the best players in the world from that position. Marauding from the left to the centre. They've gone in from that range before. John Dahl Tomasson has shredded it in wonderfully to Nicholas Bentner. It was a stretch to the toe poke, but it was effective. That's on target. Stecklenburg has to get low. Van der Wiel. Iron Robin is selfless this time and shares with De Jong. He lays it off to Schneider. And he dinks it over the top to Van Persie. Looking for an impersonation of Marco van Basten. It's knocked on to Robin. Van Persie. And playing back to Schneider as he falls at a crucial moment. And it doesn't hit the target. Kjaer taking too long to maneuver around Van Persie, who dispossesses him. It's got past the keeper. No! Ladies and gentlemen, this game is scripted. Karlenberg, first time in. Oh, it's found its way to John Dahl Tomasson. The Denmark legend. Danish dynamite. And that one will hurt a bit for the Dutch, who would have at least been 2-1 if it wasn't for Van Persie's paralysis. But let's take nothing away from this spectacular effort from John Dahl Tomasson. It's a stalemate in Soccer City. Denmark hold their own against the eventual World Cup finalists. Two soccer-mad nations go toe-to-toe. Tasted plenty of success domestically, but out of the two sides, Cameroon is the only one to taste the quarterfinals. in the 1990 tournament that England fans fondly remember. Hasebe drills the header straight at Canadian. Honda just about tucks it in, but he's offside. Would have been embarrassing if he was on, and it goes over with the lob. Just about nestles in the top corner. Honda all alone versus 4 yellow shirts. Honda from range. He's well known for having a left foot like a laser guided missile. Endo with the direct free kick, hits the wall, and Matsui with a flop of a follow-up. Suakotso whips it in, it's Weibo at the near post! It's snuck in! The prolific Mallorca veteran makes good for the Lions here! Looks like Narasaki underestimated him in the door. Well, Japan are guilty of standing off of Benoit Suakoto too long. And Pierre Weibo with fantastic striker's instincts to tuck that in at the near post. The World Cup is never easy for the Samurais. Plenty of room for Yasuhito. Endo fires a bazooka into the face of Hamido as Honda's follow-up forces him to stretch his legs. Ino knocking on the door has found his way into the box, and it's a low cross to Amana. It's a simple goal, and Cameroon have destroyed Japan. Was spoke too soon, the flag goes up. It's actually Ina who's offside of the 1-2 pass from Pierre Weibo. It's Akili Almana has to wait longer for his first goal. Japan flooding forward now with minutes to spare, but they're still outnumbered. Honda trying to take their destiny into his own hands, and he's unlucky. And another denial. Nakamura is away from Basong as he swings a deep one into Honda, and it's tipped over the bar. Can Japan get any closer to an equalizer? Some impressive chances for Japan, but it's not good enough. Cameroon has the goal that counts thanks to Pierre Weibo. It's Japan 0, Cameroon 1. It's time for the world champions to step into the Colosseum. The Italians, who only conceded 2 goals in the entirety of the World Cup 2006, are entertaining a transitional generation as they entertain Paraguay, who are 1 year away from being runners-up in the Copa America 2011. Gilardino with the first breakthrough of the game, getting a little carried away there. That's a very short delivery, and it's found its way to Lucas Barrios, who had the Italian defense in the palm of his hands. Cannavaro was dropped into no man's land as Lucas Barrios nearly sent the Paraguayans into the lead. Santa Cruz, another valiant effort from Paraguay. Iaquinta, Montalivo, the strikers blocks, and there's a little game of hot potato. Gilardino's footed the foot to Marquisio, who makes the keeper and fires it back of the net. Just Avila, the Paraguayan veteran, is left very red-faced. Juventus' breakthrough playmaker Claudio Marquisio marks his World Cup debut with an emphatic goal for the legs of the veteran Just Avila. Superb composure in the attack from the Azzurri. Ricardo Montalivo fancies his chances and he forces Villa to get his strip dirty. Corner kick to the world champions. Not a bad start. Iaquinta holding up play for Sanbrata. Powers through, gets a cross in, and Marquisio gets the brace. Fate was written all over that. The second it left Sanbrata's boot. No signs of a World Cup winner's curse being summoned here in Cape Town. Italy are growing comfortable. 2 goals in the World Cup debut for Claudio Marquisio. And he's not even playing up front. Riveros with the delivery. It's a block by Zambrota on the line, and it's found its way in. And Nelson Valdez is the perpetrator. The Italians were very comfortable in that first half, but Paraguay have applied some pressure. It's game on. Clumsy save from Buffon, and it's come off his face and ended up in the back of the net. Is it too early to dismiss a good old-fashioned World Cup curse? Ball into Santa Cruz, he has options left and right, going straight forward, and forces Buffon to tip it away to safety. Santa Cruz once again rooting the centre forwards. This time Valdez is through. Just got to convert against Buffon, who stands his ground effectively. And it's another double save. A defiant denial of Juan Valdez. And Buffon's already had one of these go in from that angle. This may well be a game of two halves. Paraguay come forward again. Barrios setting up for Riveros to volley. Well, it was a gamble. Gilardino spots the enthusiasm of Pepe, who gets the ball in, and it's found to Marquisio! And they're back to the comfort zone. Claudio Marquisio has marked history in scoring a hat-trick on his World Cup debut here in Cape Town. And now the world champions are back in control. Valdez having his fun with Zambotta on the left-hand side, Cannavaro has to lead by example, fails. Oh, what? Paraguay clearly adamant about the fact they're not here to take part. They're going to make Italy sweat no matter what it takes. Santa Cruz gets his long-awaited goal here in the World Cup 2010. It's been a bittersweet performance from Gianluigi Buffon. Italy holding the world champions enter the 2010 edition of the World Cup with a victory. Long-awaited returns from both nations. Slovakia last appeared 20 years ago as part of Czechoslovakia, and New Zealand back in 1982. It's Hamsic, the golden boy of Naples, found his way in, slithering over the goalkeeper's thigh and into the net. It's an unorthodox lead, but Slovakia will take it. They ain't complaining. It's the young leader, Marek Hamsic, who has single-handedly dragged the Slovakians into the lead in the World Cup. It's a pacey strike that'll cause any goalkeeper trouble. Look at the way it skids off of the thigh of Mark Paston. It's Bertos with the whip into Cullen. Plucked out the air by Mucha. Cullen has snuck it into the foot of Elliott. He sends the Slovakian players to the ground and it rolls off the line in slow motion. Lockhead to follow up. There's the ball in from Lockhead. Schmelz! And the All-Whites who subvert the better known All Blacks have equalised through the skull of Shane Schmelz of the good old Golden Boys of Gold Coast United. It's a World Cup moment for the 28-year-old part-timer. New Zealand keen to make an impression to live up to their rugby namesakes. Very nearly took the lead and a remarkable comeback. That's a long ball to Brocky. Oh, and he's forced Mosher into another save, keeping him on his toes. Well, Slovakia were favoured against the underdogs New Zealand, but they've held their own. It's New Zealand 1, Slovakia 1. It ain't no football party until Brazil come to party. The Seleção, the former world champions, return to the World Cup. On the team sheet, a shadow of them former selves, no Ronaldinho, Adriano Ronaldo, or Carlos or Cafu. It's the improvisation era of Brazil. Maicon thinking what Ilana was thinking. Taka on the chest! 5 minutes into the North Korean death sentence. Brazil strike! And it's Kaká as he returns to the grandest stage of them all with an incredible goal. As casual as you like between Maicon and Alano. Kaká with an exquisite turn. Let's admire the class and the comfort of the legendary Kaká, just dancing with the ball. Luis Fabiano, all the weight of the world on his shoulders as he fronts his front line for Brazil. Never mind, Robinho has come out of nowhere and has slammed it in the top corner. Robinho was just an understudy to Ronaldinho, Adriano, Ronaldo and Co. But today he's justified their starting spot on that left-hand flank. He may hit the floor, but the damage has already been done. Michel Bastos swings it in. Juan was the target in mind. And it's played to Alano. It's on the volley. It's a good catch from Guk. Here comes Namcho with a rare Lead into the box for the North Koreans. Ooh! It's gone in! Incredible scenes! North Korea has struck against the favourites Brazil. Well, I think even the underdogs understand whatever happens, happens. But it's a victory for a nation that has possibly the lowest expectations coming into this tournament. They've scored against Brazil. It finds Robinho once again, and he's been wiped out by Pao Jin. Elano! Wow! It's the first direct goal from a set piece. And who else but Elano? The sniper from Galatasaray. Well, the Brazilian set piece expert was always a prestigious one, but Elano may have no trouble filling them boots. Marvellous technique. The Seleção are cruising here in Johannesburg. Young Taisei surrounded by yellow shirts. He's sharing with Hong Yong-Yong. It's Hong Yong-Yong. Oh. Well, Elano has plenty of time to pick out a cross, and he has. Kaka gets the second of the game. And with an entire second half to play, the Brazilian burial of North Korea has only just begun. 5 minutes to go until half time, and the Brazilians can relax, they're playing for fun. A nice interchange there. Elano gives it onto the favoured right foot, and it's Swan who's there to convert it comfortably for Brazil's fifth. And that's the highest scoring game of match day 1 so far. It looked like Elano was running out of time before he was closed down, and still had all the time in the world to squeeze in a perfect cross for Haran. Here comes Hong Yong-Yong with a short ball in, and that whistles past Julio Cesar's goal mouth. Lucio in an advanced position. Melo wants a Bastos. Oh, it's a ripple effect heard around Johannesburg. Some belligerent Brazilian defending as Kim Jong-il is snatched it away from Lucio's grasp. Young Taisei, second goal for North Korea, is a landmark. And with all the work that the Brazilians have done, getting that goal difference sky high, careless defending has cost them one of those goals. And against far greater teams such as Portugal in this group, that could be costly. Well, at least young Taisei has a story to tell his grandchildren someday. Lucio, the phantom forward, and there's Fabiano, desperate to get on the score sheet, trying to justify his starting lineup position. And that's an unorthodox attempt at a finish. Kaka. Oh, didn't seem there was much on it, but it's forced the keeper into a frenzy. Dani Alves' ball in. It's ricocheted off the post, but Brazil have a resounding 5-2 over the North Koreans. Portugal were within touching distance of the final 4 years ago. They're led by Cristiano Ronaldo as captain for the first time as they take on an Ivory Coast side led by Sven Goran Eriksson. Renew Sven's men, captained by the legendary Didier Drogba. Eboué has the big drog in his sights, but Eduardo scouts it well. Ronaldo marching forward with the ball like he always does, releases it at the last second to Deco. Lienson sniffing around the 6-yard box for a follow-up, and Henny makes a mess of it. Here comes the late Jeff Chiose. Nice pass to Drogba. Oh, and he catches Eduardo out almost by entire surprise. Dani, that's almost a perfect cross to Cristiano Ronaldo. And the diving header is a failure. Would have been a marvellous way to put your country in front, no doubt. CR7 busy as usual on that left-hand flank, dispossessed. And Drogba is onside, the flag stayed down. And Pepe's in pursuit. Eduardo commits. Didier Drogba slots it past them all. And the Ivory Coast take the lead over Portugal. In the closing minutes of the first half, Didier Drogba has made his mark in Africa. What a first round of games it's been for the home continent. Didier Drogba tries to follow suit with Ivory Coast. It's an opportunity that came out of a nothing clearance. And they're a goal up. Well, Ramirez will be penalised for a pretty pointless tackle. And we're entering Ronaldo country. I don't suppose he'll be entirely blamed, as Ronaldo can be as quick as a flash. Ronaldo range. Oh. Trademark technique from Ronaldo, but it doesn't pay off in this occasion. Carlu has plenty of pace. Miguel trying to keep up. And Carlu's got a lifeline. It's it, Drogba. Blasts it past Eduardo. And there's a brace. And Portugal are sinking in South Africa. It's almost appropriate the Ivory Coast are wearing orange, the same colour as quicksand, because Portugal are drowning here. Quenchal has his sights set on Morales, plays it backward, takes a touch, and he lumps in at the keeper. Morales knocks it forward to Liedson, played on to Miguel. Frees up some space to Shamal on the right hand side. Whips one in, Liedson, oh yes! Now things are about to get interesting. Portugal are given a lifeline in the group of death. Well, it was going to be now or never for a Portuguese goal if there was any hope of a comeback. Ivory Coast have dominated this game. The Sporting Lisbon poacher has made Carlos Queiroz' selection pay off. Ronaldo trying to get the ball on his right hand side. It's a big ball in. Liedson! What a story! The Brazilian-born late bloomer Liedson has come full circle with a late World Cup debut and has reverted this game back to its default scoreline late on. Even if Barry leaves his feet, he's not getting anywhere close to this. Liedson burying that as far away in the goal as possible. Cross blocks by Pedro Mendes. Almeida trying to get a hand on this. He's scared of the ball. Runa Kindane trying his luck from a long way away. Quinchard down the line to Liedson on his hat-trick. Oh, and he just prematurely slips. Well, it's not a catastrophe for either side. They both avoid defeat in the group of death. It's Ivory Coast 2, Portugal 2. In just 2 short years, Spain have gone from underachievers to believers. In the real thing, they became the world beaters, world champions. But the true test will be how does tiki-taka hold up in PES 2010. Switzerland have grown a lot since hosting the Euros 2 years ago. It's time to shake the stigma of being participants. Capdevila straight towards David Villa. He's on his own, there's no qualms about holding up play. Xavi sends it through to another Xavi, Alonso. Oh, and there it is! Spain have opened the scoring, and it's an excellent team goal against a run of play. And it doesn't even come from a traditional centre forward. But the tiki-taka era is this generation's total football. Liechtenstein will hate himself for this sloppy interception, and Xavi took his time, and he threaded the perfect pass to Xabi Alonso. He passes it into the net past Benaglio. Ziegler sends it in. Derdiok. Oh. And that was a sitter for Aaron Derdiok. Iniesta dispossessed like an amateur here. Retro Ziegler does all the hard work. And Derdiok kind of fumbles that finish. David Villa biding his time. Iniesta breaks on through. Here we go. For a second. No, straight at the keeper. Oh, Puel's handled that poorly. And Derdiok is snatching away from him. Running away with the gold. Aaron Derdiok has made good on his disastrous header. Moments earlier, Switzerland are back in the game out of nothing, and Carlos Puyol, the world's most reliable centre-half, bears the shame of giving this away in schoolboy fashion. Aaron Derdiok runs around and picks the bottom corner perfectly. And now, Switzerland have a new lease of life. They're coming for the jugular of Spain. Derdiok sneaks in out of nowhere. Could have been on a hat-trick by now. Started so well for the European champions, and now they've been startled here in Durban. Villa gets absolutely floored by Gökhan Inler. And now the passion boils over, tempers are flaring, but it's a free kick for Spain. Xavi. Oh, off the post. Well, David Villa almost had the last laugh from Gökhan Inler. As Xavi goes a couple of inches to the left. Iniesta stuck in past the back line. And there's a high ball in, probably too far. Tries to get back into the mixer and David Villa on the turn. Is unlucky. Navas. Back to Fernando Torres. Into the middle towards Xavi. Pulled away by Benaglio and Torres still can't convert. Well, Fernando Torres knows how Andrei Shevchenko felt in Istanbul. Look at this, Benaglio doesn't even know where he is. Well, I'm sure Switzerland will certainly take what they can get. It's a disappointing opener for Spain. It's a draw for the European champions. He'd be forgiven for thinking Honduras were making their World Cup debut, but they have in fact made one appearance, 1982. Chile returned for the first time in 12 years, and their last outing was the most successful, the last 16 in France 98. David Suazo, the first of the two Suazos who will compete against each other on opposite ends of the pitch. And Barto Suazo in through to Alexis Sanchez. That's an excellent save from Canalo. Nunez gets the ball in and it's Alvarez. World Cup winners and by all accounts accomplished a shock lead over Chile. Edgar Alvarez is the hero. And it's not exactly a bad finish either. Complacent from Chile, they gave Nunez all the time in the world, and Alvarez, he could well have volleyed this in. Goes with a spectacular header. Well, Suazo's there first, and now the power comes to the floor. There's David Suazo, he's the third goal here! And this is straight into the hands of the keeper. Sanchez, a very high ball. Matthias Fernandez, Suazo, and Canalo tips it away. Corner kick by Fernandez, and Suazo's on the end of it. And the other Suazo is on the score sheet. Big header from one of the smallest men on the pitch. A little box of power, and Barto Suazo has plunged Chile back into the game. Matthias Fernandez in the goal scoring position. Sent into a whirly bird spin by Sabalian. Fidea! Arturo Vidal, the future legend, has completed the comeback for Chile with a header from that sensible head of hair. It's a pinpoint cross from Bissejour, and Arturo Vidal at the far post. Nobody knew he was there. Edgar Alvarez has exploded away from Pont. There's a low ball into the box. Nunes! And Bravo has kept both him and Suazo out in remarkable fashion. Is this the save of match day 1? Claudio the bodyguard Bravo. A very exciting start for Honduras, but it's been cancelled out by Suazo. And Arturo Vidal, it's Honduras 1, Chile 2. It's time for a good old-fashioned World Cup roundup. France and South Africa, the perfect starts. In Group A, Argentina victims of the biggest shock of the tournament so far as Nigeria continue the African momentum. England claimed bragging rights over the USA. Germany punished Australia for scoring first against them. Cameroon sits above the Dutch and the Danes. World champions Italy hang on tight in a 5-goal thriller against Paraguay. Brazil blow North Korea out of the African waters. And Chile have outscored European champion Spain in Group H. Marquisio is the man with the most goals thanks to his hat-trick against Paraguay. Thank you everybody for your love, passion, support and patience. There's been a lot of demand for World Cup 2010 on this channel. I hope I didn't disappoint. Let me know your thoughts on PES 2010, your best player, best goal, best match of match day 1, and your predictions for the second round of group games.